Hi everyone! So today's video is about what professions are in demand here in Ireland. The information is mostly from my personal experience here in Dublin and the people around me, and also some information is taken online. Number one are truck drivers with C and CE category driving license. And as well they have to have the code 95, I think it's called. There is a lack of drivers here in Ireland, and some companies even take drivers without any experience if they have the license. Here is one example. My husband was working as a truck driver in one company, and even he was offered 400 euros bonus for each driver he brings to the company. Also, when he leaves one job, he very easily finds another job as a truck driver. Especially when you have the experience in Ireland. The job is not easy at all, even though it's paid a little bit better than some other jobs. But you work a lot of hours, you sometimes have to work night shifts or have to wake up very early in the mornings. Also, in a lot of companies, you work every second week, 6 days per week. So you actually have 1 day off every second week. The good thing is that for this kind of job, you don't need much English. Even with basic English, you can get the job with no problems. Also, these jobs are easy to find without an agency. You can find them directly through the company, even though they can be found through agencies as well. Truck drivers are paid well, but when you count the hours you work, in the end, it's not so good. The second one is warehouse operatives, or they call them pickers. So you need to drive a forklift, take boxes from the shelves and pack the orders for companies or stores. They would even take people without a license for the forklift, but the first 2 to 3 days they train you themselves, and also you are paid for those days. This job is easily found through agencies. Usually the agencies that I know are good for that kind of job are Kaizen Recruitment, I'll write them down here, and Broadline Recruiters. This is also very hard job. Sometimes the boxes are pretty light, so you have snacks and so forth, but sometimes the boxes are really heavy, like bottles or any other heavy products. Another issue related to this kind of job is that the warehouses are not heated during the winter, and it is really cold. They do give you a jacket that you can wear, but it's still really like it gets into your bones because you're whole day there. Another thing is that the job can be really boring because you have those headphones and an assistant is telling you all the time, pick this, go there, ready, so you get this ready very often. It's not for everyone. This job is paid a little bit better than the minimum salary. Sometimes it can be paid even more, depending on how long are you working that job. But you need a little bit more English for that because you have to understand what you are told on those headphones. There is a lack of workers in this sector because the job is harder and the e-commerce is growing constantly here. Number 3, construction workers. It was forbidden to build here for 10 years, and around 2-3 years ago they changed that. Since then they started building like crazy, and that's why there is a lack of workers for that sector. Usually for this kind of job, English is not so important. I mean, basic would be enough. They are paid pretty well, but as you can imagine, the job is hard. First physically, and second again physically. I mean, you work in the cold, you work in the rain, you work no matter what the weather is. I heard they are paid around 20 euros per hour. Probably that's like beginning kind of wage. They work Saturdays, they work probably 6 days a week, and so forth and so forth. Definitely not an easy job. I had a housemate who was working that job, and he would find a job just like that. And also in this sector are needed project engineers. They're very well paid, but for that you need to know English better. Number 4, nurses and doctors, especially the nurses that work in nursing homes. Somebody wrote on Facebook that even If you don't have any experience but you have the qualification, they take you anyways. It's a better paid job, but unfortunately they work so many hours. I had a flatmate as well who was working this kind of job, and she worked really a lot of hours. For the nursing homes, you don't need so much English, basic probably would be enough, but for, of course, hospital or a clinic, if you are a nurse, then you need more English. Doctors are also missing here because a big part of the Irish doctors immigrate to countries like Australia, UK, Canada, USA as well, because they have better work-private life balance, and also, as soon as I understood, they are better paid. For a doctor, of course, you need much better English, and also they are paid really good. Number 5, seasonal workers for fruit picking, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries and apples, and for vegetable picking, mushrooms, carrots, potatoes and salads. For this kind of job you don't need English at all, and also a lot of workers are sent through agencies from other countries. For example, I'm from Bulgaria. There is agencies in Bulgaria who send people to work seasonal jobs here. They provide them accommodation and also the job. As you can imagine, this is a very hard job as well, and it's pretty low paid. Number 6, cleaners and other hotel workers. Not much English is needed for that, and also unfortunately they start with the minimum wage usually. It could be a little bit over the minimum, but in general the minimum, especially if you don't have experience here in Ireland before that. There is a big tourism here and missing workers, especially in Cork, Dublin and Galway. Also, car valet workers are missing, but you can imagine how hard is that job, because you're outside washing cars, and it can be cold and you work with water, so it's disaster. Number 7, IT workers. For this kind of job you definitely need a high level of English. The interviews are really hard, so they take people even with not much experience if they have the qualifications. But I'm saying that you need to prove yourself on the interviews. There is not only one interview, but you go through steps of interviews, and also they check your knowledge actually. The wages for this kind of jobs are really good. They have very good working hours, flexibility, also a lot of bonuses. Even they offer them medical insurance, more annual leave days, and so on. A friend of mine passed through an interview like that, and approximately 1 month was all the steps that he had to pass until he got the job, but it was worth it. He's really satisfied with his job now. Number 8, accountants. As well, you need very high level of English for this kind of job. The interviews are really hard, and the salary is pretty good. And also the benefits. For sure, there is more jobs in demand here, but these are the most popular. You can easily find a job as a waiter. You can easily find a job as a cashier in a store. Of course, for a cashier, you need a little bit more than a basic English. And that's it. So I hope the video was interesting and gave you some information that is beneficial. And see you next time. Bye bye.